So, January 15th, 2 weeks into 2019, give me your impressions of the market so far. Hopping, Kevin says. What does that mean?
I mean, plenty of showings and multiple offers already.
Who else is experiencing the same feeling as Kevin? Raise your hand. Nobody? Only Kevin. Anyone else got a different opinion? RJ?
I mean, I think it's a very active market. I think a few houses, the buyers are much more cautious this year than they were other years.
Okay. Anyone else?
Just still a lack of inventory.
Still lack of inventory? All right, we'll watch very closely. Again, stats are going to be next Tuesday, fourth quarter stats. I think this will be one of the more important stats we do in a long time. But we're watching right now very closely. We've had literally since fall of 2012, 75 straight green light months in this business. And we felt a little change in the fall, so we're watching closely. Stock markets have come back a little bit. Rates have settled down a little bit. But there are changes. We've already noted them. There are price reductions, which we haven't seen in a while. More days on the market, even though most of my conversations so far this year have been multiple offer stuff. So, hang on a second. So it's very, very, I said this all last year, it'll be the same this year. Every property is its own analysis. Again, depending on area, price, condition, school system, you could have somebody over here that's not getting a showing on a listing for 2 weeks and then 6 multiple offers. I talked to someone yesterday, it was in a 6 multiple offer situation. So we're just going to watch closely, but the stats will be very telling next Tuesday, same time as sales meeting. It'll be a lot of your dialogue and language you'll get from that with clients moving forward. Bill?
So, yeah, I would say that just comparing to spring, you know, it's like that tide that comes in that lifts all the boats that were on the sandy beaches, get us back to some sales. I mean, I don't know about the multiple offers, but I was feeling kind of like there was a lot of negative vibes in the fall, and it seems like that has turned. I mean, I'm more optimistic. I think in just doing some market analysis for clients, there's a boatload of stuff that has just recently gone under contract. I think that there's some new energy and blood. I think it's going to be a good spring market. I think it's going to be really healthy. Maybe a little different, but I'm more optimistic today than I was in November and December.
I think that's a great analysis. I feel the same way. It just feels like more activity. Could be the January effect. I mean, again, I advise you to send out 4 touches between December 20th and January 10th. There's so much pent-up demand at that time, the biggest time of the year, coming after the first of the year, New Year's resolutions, and that can take from the 2nd to the 10th of January for people to reappear. But just like, sounds like, Kevin, you got a lot of buyers, and that seems to be the theme. If you really did touch these people and you're top of mind going into right now, should be good activity. But that's a great analysis the way it feels. We'll watch closely. All right, from last week, we owe 2 people $100. I think only one's here, but Pete.
I'll take the other one.
Was it you?
That's what I would like.
Oh, there you go. $100. Pete was the winner of our contest. All right, renovations. I guess you've noticed walking in, we're in the middle of renovations, but the painters are doing a great job, moving very quickly, not making a big mess. That's what we like with painters. So we're getting it knocked out and putting it back pretty quickly. You'll probably see by next week, this whole front wall is really gonna be a giant whiteboard. Like, it's paint that you can write on anywhere on this wall.
Magnetic whiteboard.
There we go.
You can use magnets and wipe off board. Both.
Yeah, so, and you will see in the future, it's gonna be all new carpet, all new furniture in the conference room, so stuff's happening quickly, but I think it looks great. I like the paint colors. Jennifer, where are you? Okay, so
I'm back here.
Jennifer with Virtuance, thanks for the breakfast, but you provide a very, very important part of our business, which is high-level photography. Extremely important in our industry, having great pictures, so come on up.
Okay.
I'll go this way.
Okay. Yep. I brought my lovely fishbowl. Do you guys all have your business cards? We're going to do a drawing for free photo shoots start of the year, right?
All right, we'll keep talking while Stacy, will you take the ball around?
I'm gonna give it to you.
There we go.
Okay, so you guys have heard from me before. I do real estate photography, and it's 2019, so I thought we would start the year with more of me talking about how Virtuance can help you guys on your listing appointments. Okay, so when you're going out and you are selling yourself to your prospects, I want you guys to know that Virtuance can partner with you guys, and when you go out, you have listing tools that you can use. You do not have to buy anything from us to use these. These are free to you. All you have to do is go on Virtuance.com, get a password and a user ID, and you can download all these tools and say, hey, this is who I use when I get y'all's listing, and I'm going to use Virtuance, and this is why. You guys know everybody's looking online before they ever call you, right? And they're scrolling through thousands of photos. It takes 6 seconds for them to go to the next picture, and 20 seconds before they decide to call you. Well, did you know that if you use Virtuance, you're going to get 120% more interest than using professional photography? Pretty impressive, right? Yeah? So, we spent 2 years conducting research before we developed HD Reel. And what we did is we determined what makes buyers click, right? And so we know that our photos are going to make the listing sell faster and for more money. So, what is HD Reel? Well, what we do is our professional photographers, they go out and they shoot the properties, right? And all they're doing is shooting the properties. And all of our photographers have been trained to know which images and how to, let's start over. Our photographers know how to shoot the properties because we trained them. And once they do that, the images are uploaded, and they go through 25 different algorithms. So when the images come back to you, they're perfect. So we are vertically integrated, which means our photographers take the pictures, they're sent to Denver, and they're sent back to you. So you get a photographer within 1 to 3 days, and then you get photos by 5 p.m. the next business day. Isn't that great? So it doesn't matter if you have Heather one day and Dylan the next. You're always going to get that same HD Reel photography. And all these images that I'm showing you, you can download this stuff and bring it on your listing appointment. So, you guys have seen this photo before. What do you think? But it's probably better than what's out there, right? So if you show this to your client, what did you say?
Mustard yellow's coming back.
But if you show this to your clients and you say, what do you guys think of this image? And then you show them this and you say, I'm using Virtuance. I bet I can get you more money for your listing. Are they going to be impressed with you?
Sure.
Yeah? So this is our pricing, and I'm almost done. I'm going to give you guys the 25-image package today, well, one lucky winner. It's $149 credit. It doesn't expire. We also do twilight shoots. We do that at twilight, guys. We don't Photoshop it in, okay? Last thing, most important thing, I gave you all feedback forms with your brochures. Everybody's going to get a listing in the next 2 weeks, I know. You do not have to shoot it within 2 weeks. You just have to book it. You'll get 15% off. So fill out the form, make it so I can read it, so I don't send it to somebody in Alabama, and I will collect it at the end of the class. Team meeting. Any questions? All right, did you guys? Yes.
Are those prices
concurrent across the board, within the metro Atlanta area?
Yes, so we have a service area, and if you go outside of the service area, there's travel fees. It can be $25 or $50, depending on how far you go, and that fee goes straight to our photographers for their time and their gas.
Rashad, they're worth every penny of it. I don't use anybody but Bridget Woods.
Same here.
And
Give it a
FYI,
try. You guys will be thrilled.
my photographers are amazing, and I don't do any of this photography.
So do you get to choose the images that you want before they come back to you, the 25?
No.
No.
So because we did 2 years of research, we know what the buyers want. But say, for instance, we're shooting a specific listing for you, and you know you want to highlight certain things. Let us know. We'll shoot what you want, but we know that, buyers are going to want the master bedroom, the master bathroom, certain things. But we can do specific what you want, because we're learning about you as you're learning about us. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. I'm done.
Okay, thank you. Let's pick a winner.
Linda picked.
What different arts in there?
No, but she's not looking.
I'm not looking.
Linda.
That's Hal Jackson. That's Hal Jackson. Wait, raise your hand.
Okay, thanks Jennifer for all you do. Again, I think most of you know this, but of all the things most important to your listing, it's pictures, right? You can write like Shakespeare, but the key is they're looking at pictures, plain and simple, and look, just the difference in those two pictures is amazing. So your clients, that's what they're doing. Other agents that are looking to show on the weekend, a lot of people, it could be a great house, but they're out. Your house could be out just because the pictures don't show. Okay, so we are down to the last 12-pack of Bud Light. This is from...
I need it.
I have had this since Halloween, and I'm trying to get rid of them. So, whoever would like to, we'll play heads and tails for this last pack of Bud Light. If you want to play for this, stand up and participate. Anyone want this 12-pack? Nobody? There you go. I know my son will love it. I won. Hey, I'm proud of you guys. No alcoholic. Pretty good. Pretty good. So, let's move on. Yesterday, full house for Chad's technology visual of what's coming with KW Command. How many of you were there? Raise your hand. Okay, so the exit polls was just that, phenomenal.
Yes.
So let's talk about it. What did you hear in there?
Exciting, a new technology, the speed, simplicity of it all.
You're going to be able to take all the different aspects of your business and have it in one place. So if you do marketing, if you do social media, if you do whatever you do, it can be in one. Your transaction coordinate in one place.
Your CRM.
Which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
CRM.
Oh.
Yeah.
Everything.
One dashboard.
Yeah.
One spot.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. What else?
You're getting everything for $25 a month.
Right. Well, it's already included. Right, you're already paying for it. Where a lot of people, big producers, some people pay $2,000 to $3,000 a month for all their CRMs.
Right.
Yeah.
You'll be able to eliminate a lot of that, and then all of it, and it's all yours, your data.
Correct. What else?
Like that buyer quiz helped them narrow down what kind of house they want.
Yeah, that was good.
Interface with your clients better, or communicate with them better.
Okay.
It's
Bill?
going to set us apart from every other real estate company
Mm-hmm.
across the world.
Totally believe that.
If you didn't see it, they've got like a quiz where the seller takes a quiz and creates a, what do they call it?
The DNA.
DNA.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the buyer.
What's buyer DNA? But anyway, it's still a questionnaire, and it'll create a pre-listing package, an automated pre-listing package that's extremely robust and data-rich that segues into a digital online a presentation, a listing consultation that is drag and drop and really cool, that you can put together. That I
No,
think
no
is
one's gonna have,
extremely powerful.
no one's gonna have this.
Mhm.
Right. What else? Anyone else? Okay, so we're thinking
Family reunion.
that.
And Brad, can I
Yep.
chime in?
Mhm.
One of the questions I keep getting is, so what should I do between now and then, especially with your database? There will be, if you want to get in on this, that there are two ways to get your database into Command. Yes, you can put it in the Edge and it, with one button more in, but you can also import it as a CSV file, just like we import into eEdge. So, don't panic, but I strongly advise cleaning up whatever database you do have. Get your content, get rid of, old stuff that you're not in touch with these people. And if anyone wants to, go ahead and get your contacts into eEdge, maybe you don't really have them in a CRM per se, make an appointment, I'll work with you. Happy to do it. So, I think that's the first thing you're going to want to take advantage of is as a CRM, getting your contacts in there. So, and the other thing is that they are going to have live streaming training on every aspect of Command from Family Reunion on, well, whenever they release it, like 9 to 5 every day, and there'll be a menu, of classes, and so tons of training and education available coming out of Austin. So it won't be just up to us to figure this out.
Correct. So the way it's working is because Gary's been paying a lot of money, hundreds of millions to create this, and they're looking for the most advantage for our company, which is not release it until it's live so other people can imitate it. They have a shorter period of time. That's why we really can't play with it or touch it too much, but once that happens, obviously we go that way big time. So thinking Family Reunion, we'll just see, which starts February 15th.
Yep.
And for you that are newer to the company, don't know, Family Reunion is our convention. Happens every year in February. 4 days, high level training. Again, it's amazing that the chairman of the board still is the main speaker at convention. Gary's a visionary in the business, so he talks to all 20,000 of us a couple times. But Family Reunion is a lot of breakout sessions for 4 days. So each hour and a half, you can pick from 20 different topics that you want to go hear in a room of about 200 to 400. So this year it's in New Orleans. This will be my 4th New Orleans. You still have time to sign up if you want to. New Orleans is a fairly easy one. It's actually drivable if you want to. But if you're interested, talk to me. It's great training, and it's a really cool way to see the company in its fullest and how big it is, because we have 700 offices. Obviously, there'll be 20,000 people there. So let me know if you want to go to that. At this point, I don't know if it's sold out.
It's not sold out, but hotels are getting in short supply.
Yeah, but we'll help you with that. Okay. And also, you last Tuesday probably got an email about a little news in the company. So I was a little surprised in that all the team leaders were in the mountains that night for getting ready for our Rawls Group ALC retreat, and we hadn't even ordered dinner, and we all get this message, and I'm like going, why are they doing this at 7:30 at night? So all of a sudden I got 350 texts. So, but what happened was, again, we don't know everything at this point, but John Davis has served this company very well. He's one of the 3 greatest team leaders of all time. He's been CEO. Word I'm getting is that he actually resigned. Don't know why. Probably could be just the change in direction of the company where we're becoming much more tech, and I would categorize John as not super tech. So we'll find out more, but the good news is Gary Keller is assuming that role, who has some talent. So
It's like a Steve Jobs where he comes back and just crushes it.
yeah, I mean,
That's what it means.
Right.
yeah, I mean that is kind of the analogy that when Jobs came back, I guess the first thing he did was introduce iPhone, which they kind of went, but obviously that's turned out. So not terrible to have Gary stepping back into the role. So we'll just see. So yeah, I mean everyone I talked to, they thought the news was positive. All right, let's go a little Certainty Home Loans.
Thank you. You got it. Yeah, that was,
Can be tough.
we were just Starkey last week.
Change of name.
How about that?
New.
Good morning, good morning.
Morning.
It's almost tax time. Anybody trying to
No,
get it done early?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got mine done early. Yeah. It was kind of cool. I completed it, sent it in, and apparently I answered one of the questions incorrectly. I don't know, they sent it back to me. The question was, do you have anyone dependent upon you? Well, I wrote down 9.5 million illegal immigrants, 1.1 million, 3.4 and 650 idiots in Washington. You know, and yeah, and they wrote it back, said that the answer was unacceptable. I said, who did I leave out? No, just kidding. Not meant to offend anyone. I thought it was just really funny. But it is tax season, and for all of your self-employed borrowers, this is a very important time. Okay, so if you want to get a little preliminary look-see, we do this every year this time. People are like trying to figure out exactly where they should be and what they can qualify for. Let us know. We'll do a little preliminary before they file and let you know. All right?
Good.
So with that, I think you guys have something to say, don't you? Everybody, come on down. Get out here. Hey, everybody. Yes.
Hey, man.
Hey, this is a lightning bolt.
Oh my God.
Did you lose a bet? Business in the front, party in the back. No, also, so beginning of the year, this is also a good time for Homestead reminders to get out to clients. I think we sent out a little email to everybody that we closed last year, but always a good push, good touch. File your Homestead. Rates have actually dipped a little bit the past couple weeks. Conventional, 30-year fixed back down to 4.625.
Wow.
Same as FHA and VA, so they're along the same lines right now. Jumbo, so as you remember, jumbo limits have increased for this year. A jumbo loan is anything over 484, 350. 30-year fixed jumbo, 4.375.
Wow.
And even better than that, a 7-1 ARM on a jumbo, 3.875. So, yeah, really, come back down. That 7-1 jumbo is pretty sweet. Get down to the threes. That's bragging rights for people. So,
You want to say something? This is big news for your touches. Yeah.
you want to say something about the government shutdown?
Well, I think we're having a problem with USDA. We can't fund. That's not just us. That's across the board.
You guys aren't doing a whole lot of USDA here, but some of you are. I mean, we have done a few USDA loans. You guys know what a USDA loan is? Yeah, it's the same people that look at your beef at Kroger, but it's, so, I might be careful buying the beef. I don't know. USDA approved. But, it's for rural properties.
It's 100% funding.
100% financing, yeah. So, yeah, government shutdown, Fannie and Freddie, business as usual. FHA, business as usual for the most part. No impact for VA, but for USDA,
immediately suspended as of yesterday on our part. So.
Yep. And I think we got one more piece of business to take care of.
We do. So it's our predictions for $1 bet this year for 2019. So I've written down. So Randy, you announce first where you think is it where rates will end or peak?
It's where they end.
Okay.
It's where they end next year.
What's your number?
Well, the Fed has taken their foot off the gas pedal a little bit, and I think we're going to have a good year. I think they're going to end below 5.5, maybe. You
got to pick a number. Vagueness does not.
5 3/8.
I'll go 5.75.
Really?
5.75.
Okay. All right. All right.
I'm with
We did this last year.
And so how did it end?
He paid it off last week.
Mortimer.
$1.
$1. Mortimer. Yeah. $1 Mortimer.
All right.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Have a great year. All right, so we got a little panel. If you'll, Charlie, what you need?
Brad, since they brought up a homestead exemption, please be aware that you must have your cars registered in the same county in which you want to have a homestead exemption. Particularly people who have, and of course your driver's license has to reflect your address too. But my son and daughter-in-law both had to scramble to do that when they bought a house, because both of them had their cars registered, and one was in Florida and one was in a remote county in Georgia.
So the government has gotten a little bit smarter in that they've realized that you live in the middle of Buckhead, yet your cars are registered in Habersham County. They're not going to let you do that anymore. So.
And it does trigger if you're moving in from out of state. If you have some high-value vehicles, it does create a significant tax payment liability. When they move in, you might just mention that to your buyers after they sign the contract.
That is a key point. Actually, that affected me. So my son graduated college. He did a good job. We got him a pretty nice car. He went to Austin for a year. We did everything by the book. So instead of him just being there, we had him go get Texas tags. Bought the car here. Took it to Austin, Texas tags. Trying to do everything right. Coming back here now, they're like, like $2,000.
And you already paid sales tax here.
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute, I've already done that. So, yeah, be careful with that. But I think on the other side, your tag fee every year has gone down because of that. So, good point. Thanks for bringing that up. So let's get Cynthia, Becky, Shorlette, Jana Huffam, and Rashad up front. We're going to chat a little bit about customer service. 20 of us on our ALC this year went to the mountains. I would say one of the best ever ALC retreats.
Yes.
We had 3 phenomenal speakers, all talking about customer service in different ways. One in particular, actually the first guy, the first minute out of the gate, a guy named Horst Schultz, who was the president of Ritz-Carlton in the 80s and 90s and really responsible for all of their decisions that made Ritz the #1 brand in the world. And this guy was amazing. I mean, he's 80, looked like he was 60. He looks and talks like Gary Player. I mean, he was, but he still is energetic, talk no notes. He was amazing. So, let's hear your thoughts just on what you heard and how it affected maybe some things you'll do different in customer service in the real estate business. Cynthia, lead this for a minute. I'm going to go do one thing.
Oh my gosh, I wish I had an hour to share everything with you. I took copious notes. I know Horst, I've met him before, but listening to him speak was phenomenal. several big, huge ahas. One was that you're judged from 9 feet away. So when your client or when you're walking in, you're looking at somebody, you're making a judgment 9 feet away. You only have like 30 seconds after that prejudgment to redeem yourself if you didn't come off very well, right? So you got 30 seconds to then engage that person and create your true image. So just keep that in mind. One of the big things that I wrote down was knowing what the customer wants. They do massive amount of studies. Horst's background is he formed Ritz-Carlton, then he formed another hotel company, the West Paces Hotel Company, which owns Capella Hotels, which are worldwide. They're a boutique hotel, high luxury, high service oriented. They're like $2,000 a night, mostly. So he focuses on what does the customer want. And they find out by asking, by doing studies. So that was one of the biggest things. And he said everyone wants 3 things. They want timeliness, they want everything now. That has changed dramatically in the last few years. When he first formed Ritz-Carlton, if someone was waiting 4 minutes to check in, someone would come out behind the desk with refreshments for those people waiting for 4 minutes, because that was the limit. If you didn't check in within 4 minutes, they were offering beverages or snacks or something. Now he says it's 20 seconds. If you don't get in, timeliness is very important, so you respond and deliver and be there on time. Number 3, I think, was what people who give the ideal, they want to know that you care. And so the greatest drive in customer satisfaction is caring, and things like you're delighted to see them. Boy, I have to work on that. Oh my God! That really hit me, because I don't think I come off as like, oh, I'm so delighted to see you. Well, maybe you, but. So, one of the things, the stories that he told, it just stuck in my mind so much, and probably you guys too, is he was asked to consult for a bank, a huge bank in Chicago. So he goes in, he says, well, I have to experience the bank first. So he walked in, and it was marble floors and ornate columns and, honed wood finishes. Everything was gorgeous, and he waits in the queue. He gets up to the next person, and the teller down at the end of the line is finishing her transaction, and she yells, "Next!"
Yeah, good idea.
Sounds like.
That's bait.
So Horst walks down, and all he was doing was testing. So he asked for a change for $50. He said she never looked up. She completed her transaction, and then she said okay and took the $50 and just gave him back whatever she wanted to give him. And he turned around and walked away. And so he said, imagine how different that would have been had she said, "Next, please. How may I help you?" And what kind of change would you like for your $50? So he said, imagine your experience, because he was talking about your brand, and that one person created a bad name for that brand.
And it was more about, too, subconscious. Like your subconscious is more present, really more than your conscious. And so the subconscious that he was saying was reflected is, I don't trust you.
Yeah,
he did not trust her. I don't trust you.
Right.
All of it based upon the way he was treated. And it's like, Google him, look him up on YouTube, because watching his presentation is really fantastic.
So then he said the third thing is, what if they had said, "Next, please, Mr. Schultze, how may I help you?" And in fact, here's your $50, but what about, would you like to know about a special we're having? Whatever it was, the next level being very personal to him. Imagine the experience. So those were just very vivid images to me, because how many times have you walked in, and he also consults with Chick-fil-A, and Chick-fil-A, when he did the test, the people were saying, okay, now they say, my pleasure. So just think about your language and how you're treating people in very simple terms. Those things really stuck to me. And I need to practice, I'm delighted to see you.
Yeah, even in your text, it can make a big difference.
Right?
I just piggybacking off what Cynthia said, what I took away is you have to really learn your audience and their language so that you can serve them better. So how you communicate with one client is not necessarily the same way you communicate with another. In order to do that, you have to be a great listener, not just of what they're saying verbally, but body language, facial expressions. Really get to know,
you care.
Yeah, show you care by listening to them. People are not buying houses, they're buying you. And they want to know 3 main things. Can I trust you? Do you know what you're doing? And do you care? Those are 3 things someone, when they're picking an agent, they want to know. And I just think the other thing I took away from that gentleman that you referenced was exceeding expectation. If your client has to call you to ask you for something, you've already dropped the ball. So you have to anticipate their need and exceed it. I know with like the Ritz-Carlton, one of the things they do is when you walk into the hotel, they already know your name. You know, welcome, you know, whatever your name is. Yeah, they've done their research. They know what time you're supposed to check in. When you wake up in the morning, or when they set your bed, or they spread your bed at the you know, during the day, they know which side your slippers go on. So they really pay attention to like everything about you. And I just want to give that, more of that to my client. I think I meet expectations, but I want to exceed it.
Yeah.
Rashad.
I guess just piggying back on what Cynthia said as well. What I took from it is the complying and caring. One note I took that Horace made a note to was hearing what your clients really want. So a lot of times, I know for myself, I've tried to anticipate thinking or what my clients are saying, but it's important what he was saying is actually hearing and getting to the bottom of what they really want in the transaction. Something else I also took was that he said if they never concentrate on the money, concentrate on the things that will make you the money. Customer service, not selling. So, you know, that was a big aha that I took from something he said as well. And another thing was a dissatisfied customer is a terrorist against your brand. Your so basically, you know, just like the bank scenario that Cynthia gave, you can have one customer or client that you had that had a bad experience that could, especially in this social media time, and things that could just rip you, you know, rip your business apart, or definitely bring down the level that you want to perform at. So, in the world. So that was something that I made. So yeah.
One thing too, I just want to piggyback on. He said that struck home with me is they want respect. Everyone wants respect. Even if you're old school, then you still use the example, hello, Mr. Jones. If someone walks up to him and says, hello, Horace, he's insulted because he doesn't know them. Only if you know them do you have the right to call them by their first name. Now, everybody here is younger than me, I'm sure, so you're going to say, well, I call everyone, and I am guilty of it too, but you don't have permission to call someone by their first name until you know them. So he talked about it, and you want to use the word certainly, my pleasure, it's not okay. And you want them to feel good, because if they feel good, they'll be loyal to you. And loyalty, trust, is when they trust you, they'll become loyal. But the big thing is they want respect, not friendship. So a lot of us are, I know, okay, well, they're in jeans, I'm wearing jeans, or they're in shorts, I'm wearing shorts, and they tell you as their client, they say, you don't have to dress up for me. We're going to, I said, no, you don't understand. I'm at work, right? So those are kind of things that I think tie into. You are the professional. They don't want your friendship right now.
Yeah.
Now, I've made a lot of friends in real estate, but generally, we become friends after the transaction. The socializing is more after the transaction, unless you're just taking them to dinner or something for a treat. Right.
I loved what he said about culture and creating ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen. No relationship begins with trust. We have to earn it and we have to build it. Define yourself with excellence. Every month, write down what you can do to be better. Not just an annual goal, every month. And he says, what do we do as human beings, not just real estate agents, to be better this month? And so a question was asked of him, how he moves forward at 80. He has a 3-year goal.
4 years, he said, next 4 years, he said he would be more handsome and in better health.
He was very handsome. He set the bar for being 80 very high for me. And he said that he focuses on his vision and his religious beliefs. Love your neighbor as yourself. It is good for people around. If it is good for people around you, it's good. Otherwise, it's immoral. And he says, excuses manage you, can take control of the excuses. And also, as far as leadership, he said, leaders don't make excuses.
Yeah.
Which was
He said he
huge
had
for me.
60 leaders, and out of those, probably only 4 were real leaders, and the rest were managers, because managers find excuses. Like, well, I didn't make my goal because blah, blah, blah. And he said out of 60, when he was running the big hotels, he had 4 who were true leaders. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. I think one of the big things, too, that was kind of surprising, and we all see it, is everything has changed in our industry and in the world, is him saying that they clocked how long it took everybody to get up to the desk, and it being 4 minutes, and now their expectations,
20
seconds. 20 seconds. And he says, that's relative to when you return a text and a phone call and an email, and, and we all get those texts and emails that we want to wait till the end of the day to kind of respond to, because you get sometimes needier clients, right? But it's important that they're always feeling that they're respected and acknowledged.
2 cool things that I heard up there. One, we're a company, I would say Keller Williams is probably the leader in the world in teaching hiring. And I guess Horst might have been at the forefront of this, but he told the story. They were one of the first people to actually profile people in a good way. I'm just saying, like very intense surveys in hiring people. So he told the story that of the, how many Ritzes were there in the world? 60? The 4 best outside doormen, okay? The guys that were the 4 best of all their stores, all their hotels, all had one thing in common that they noticed from their survey. They all liked gardening. And what they determined from that is that because they're outside, they like being outside. So I guess even cold didn't matter. They like being outside.
Right.
They were positive. And that's pretty cool to think when you're hiring, if you can get to that detail, someone that's going to fit any position because of something like that. Also, which was really cool, he said, when he was creating Ritz-Carlton in the 80s, 90s, the term luxury back then really meant high-end appointments okay, so obviously all their product, everything around you was first class, and they gave first class service, but that's what luxury meant. He said that is no longer the definition in this world. And really, his definition of luxury now is just the customer gets what they want when they want it. Plain and simple. And we can all do that. We can provide luxury service. So at 80, I don't know when he started, this could have been 5 years ago, he started another hotel. He has a hotel called Capella, which he gave the analysis. The Ritz in Singapore is $400 a night. His Capella is $1,200 a night. So this is for the ultra wealthy, okay? But money doesn't mean anything to them. What they want is the way I want it on my time. So as an example, how many of you have ever checked into a hotel at 1 and they go, your room's not ready? Right? Are you happy? No. So at this hotel, there is no check-in and no check-out time.
Right.
Okay, so they probably, because that's part of the extra fee, I guess your room, they know the person is leaving the day before.
They know your flight, they know, of course,
right.
Flight.
So if you can do the same thing for your business, what does my customer really want on their schedule? You're gonna be a long way to increasing your business and jumping your career.
And he also said with this new hotel brand, they do not look to expand to a high volume. They want to be specific to a certain number of people so they can give them the ultimate experience. Yeah. So when I heard that, I said, well, I don't have to necessarily grow the volume of my business. I could grow my price point by giving a better service.
Yeah.
As well.
That's the relationship. Yeah. Yeah, to grow.
One thing, of course, obviously, is German, and I believe very disciplined person. And I took away a lot of what we learned in Keller Williams. Is he just totally reinforced it about you have to have your destination, you have to have your dream, you have to have your dream big enough to be valid to you, to your family, to your customers, and to your employees. So is your dream valid enough for all of those things? Are you sufficient in what you do? So he writes down, you know, is it good for all? Is it good for the employees? Is it good for the public? Is it good for the investors? So every time he did something, he has to analyze, is it good for everyone? And you have to commit to it. It has to be clear. You have to write it. You initiate the steps to take you there, and you sustain and focus on it. Study who are the leaders and who are the managers. There it is again. Managers find excuses. They make leaders make things happen, but preparing for the rest of the future. Anyway, if you want, his clear initiative was to be the best in the world with Ritz-Carlton, to be the best in the world, the best hotel in the world. That was his initiative, and that would benefit the investors. That would benefit the employees. He said even to this day, when you leave a Ritz-Carlton and go get another job, you're hired almost immediately because of the Ritz-Carlton training. So it's an amazing story.
Right. Just like all you got to hear is the word Ritz-Carlton, and you associate that with luxury. What we're looking for is that they say Becky Veal, and they associate that with incredible, high-level thinking and counseling in real estate.
He did say, you know, make a decision, not feel. You know.
Oh, I love that part about the feeling thing.
Make a decision to do it, decide, not feel. If you don't focus on it, you lose it.
Well, he used the example of some friends of theirs that came up and said they were getting a divorce, and you know, these guys are in their 80s, right? So he was, or 70s, and so he was like, what do you mean you're getting a divorce? And they said, we just don't feel it anymore. You know, this is a German guy telling us, we just don't feel it anymore. And he's like, what do you mean you don't feel it? You wake up every day and you're determined to make your marriage work. He said, I committed to my wife 44 years ago or 43 years ago, and every day I wake up and say, what can I do to help you? What can I do to make your life better? I am determined to have a good marriage. And he has a good marriage. He made a decision. I was like, that is so impactful.
He made a decision.
He made a decision.
He would fall in love with her every day.
Every day. He said, I love my wife, and I am in love with my wife. Guys, that's huge. That's huge.
All right, that is good, but let's get back to real estate. So,
determination.
There we go. No, but it is important. Everything he said was he decided to do that. Thank you, guys. Great talk. So let's get Gannick up here real quick. What is happening in the world of closing attorneys?
Wow.
Are y'all open, MLK?
We are closed.
Okay, banks closed too?
Yeah, banks are closed, we are closed.
Okay, and know that the office staff is off next Monday, which is MLK. Your fob always works.
Okay, so I have two quick things today. The first is, if you haven't already sent out a letter or made a call to your buyers from last year, do so. Remind them to file for their homestead exemption for property taxes, and that is for people that are owner-occupying their property. The great thing is this is a touch that you can do in January, but I also say put it on your calendars for March. The deadline is April 1st, and a lot of people, this will go in one ear, out the other this month. Call them mid-March and just follow up with them. Remind them, say, hey, did you get that filed? Want to let you know you have 2 weeks till April 1st, get it done. I know some people go so far as to print the application out and send it over. You know, I don't know how necessary that is. A lot of them you can do online, but definitely do that as a reminder. Did you find it? Okay, so I'm going to do a visual. So my second thing today is I really want y'all to start proofreading your contracts. really well. We have seen a lot of contracts come over with just terrible clerical errors in them, and some of it can really change the meaning of what you're trying to put into your contract. We got one last week, and the agent, I'll try to be this big, for his email address,
Watch it! You gotta proofread. We've been laughing about this since last week.
What's the first part?
Got it in.
This is bad.
This is like hard-coded on the signature page. So be careful when you're sending these over. Take the time. Make sure your information is correct. I don't know who's getting noticed. I'm guessing missing out on a lot of information. That's all. We're actually having a really strong January. Thank y'all. Keep the contracts coming in. We're scheduling already out till March. We are closed MLK. We are not going to be closed whatever the February, President's Day. We are open that day, although the banks will be closed that day. So just, with these bank holidays, just keep that in mind when you're scheduling and keep that in mind for your timelines. But thank you all so much.
Great. Renee, tell me when that closing is. I might attend that. We're at time. We'll talk full time about this next time. But I want to talk a lot about follow-up. And when I say follow-up, I don't mean follow-up. There's two different types of follow-up. Like if you're, let's say, your gig is calling for sale by owners. Well, you have a way that you follow up with someone that you've made contact with. What I'm talking about more is just what are your systems to remember things? And I think it's a key to your business and your life. Okay? And I know my world, I am hit daily. There could be 100 things that come in my day from you, from anyone that I have to remember. And a lot of times someone will tell me something, I'll be on a call, I just scheduled an appointment, and literally someone will walk in the door 1 second later and need me, and it's gone. Okay? And again, what we just talked about with this luxury service and what your clients feel is that you never forget things, and you're actually doing them ahead of time. So I really want to think about your systems for how you do that. Do you have this? So I'm not going to go into detail today. We're out of time, but my systems are really threefold. One, I would highly recommend, and I've had this conversation with many people. I know a lot of people keep things on their phone, but I would highly recommend a yearly calendar that you can look at the whole week. Okay, a lot of the decisions I make I can look at not just today, but I can feel the pressure of my week. Okay, like right here, if it's Monday, I already know Friday's a mess. I can't do much more, right? I have to look at a whole week at a time to determine how I'm going to schedule things. And the minute I get something, I go right to here every time. I usually take this to lunch with me, okay? So I would highly recommend your world will be better if you have a written, I'm not saying don't use your phone, but a lot of times you're just looking at one day on the phone. Okay? This works a lot better. This is my second. So this is 11 by 17. This is my daily game board. Okay? So again, your world works a lot easier if you've broken it down into categories as opposed to just having a sheet with stuff written all over the place. That's multiple things. It has your grocery list here. It has call this buyer. It has take the dog to, I could easily, this is my world. Every day I do a new one. Here's my calendar for the day. These two for me, the right and left column, are just things of high importance. Okay, I have a category for agent needs. I have emails I need to return, recruits I'm talking to, that'll be filled out. These are all my staff members. Instead of just having them random, I just put it in their category. Kind of freaks them out every time when, Ellie and I are different parts of the office, but every time I got 4 things, she's like, how do you just, there you go. These are 4 things I need to talk to you about. Okay, here's my family, put it there. Obviously, ALC is an important thing. Technology, I made a new section this year. It will help you. And then I think the key to everything is actually having a smaller pad. For a guy, you can have a smaller pad in your back pocket, but this is, and I'm totally crossing this out, changing this. I mean, once I could go to 5 pages during the day. But this is like the minute someone says something that needs to be here, I put it here. Okay? So I get the call, boom, it's here, you interrupt me, it's here. I'm always moving from here to here. Okay? And sometimes it's 2 pads. We'll talk more about this. But I think the key to your world is I remember stuff, especially in these deals. It's amazing how many situations like people lost earnest money for their clients because they went, simple, like important stuff, like it went past due diligence. The minute you went under contract, boom, it's in probably highlighted. This is end of due diligence for this and the contract address. Here's the closing date. It's everything, right? We have to remember, and your clients will be wowed when you do remember, and you're calling them ahead of time instead of them calling you. We'll talk more about it. Johnny, come up. Again, if you watch Game of Thrones, the Lannisters always pay their debts. So here you go. Here's your $100 from last week. You're the winner too. Okay. So listings caravans. What do you got? Jay.
I have 2 listings. This is 2 price reductions. One is a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom condo at the Hillside Atlantic. It's a great location. It's right across from the mall. It's 2,700 square feet, 364.69. I have another listing in the King Springs School District. It's a 4-bedroom, 4-bath, full basement, and the price is $45.
Get out of Jay's way. She is making it happen. Who else? Deb.
Hi, we have a new condo listing. You might see on the table, listed at $147.5. It's 402 Country Park Drive in Smyrna, the Country Park subdivision, located right next to the SunTrust Battery Park, where the new home of the Braves. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, upgraded kitchen, brand new paint throughout, hardwoods in the sunroom, dining room, and family room. And it's a great community pool, tennis courts, easy trash, drop off, pick up. Wonderful little place to live. So if you have anybody looking, $147.5, 2 bedrooms. Oh, and it's also a ground floor unit. Those are our stairs up to the unit, but they're easy stairs.
Who else? Johnny.
Coming soon, Enclave at Grant Park. Don't have the price set yet. That's right on the belt line, off United. So so it's a 1-car garage, 2 bedrooms up, 2 baths. And there's a flex room on the bottom, so it may be a week or so, probably 2 weeks for me on the market.
Grant Park, always good. Amanda.
I've got a studio in Tall Baby West in Midtown coming. It's 476 square feet, tiny. It'll be listed at $119. I don't know off the top of my head.
RJ.
We have a new listing coming on this week in the Branches, just under 600. Paint is drying now. Pictures are today and it'll be live on Friday. I can start showing it tomorrow. It's in the Austin side. Also have a listing probably coming on next week in Mount Vernon Towers, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths. That is a over 55 high-rise in Sandy Springs. They usually sell pretty quickly. I'm not sure where the price will be. It's just been updated and probably in the mid-2s.
Nice. Who else? Rashad.
I'm in just after the Super Bowl. We'll have a modern farmhouse style home, 11-foot ceilings on the first floor, 10-foot ceilings on the second floor, 3,800 square feet, 5 bedrooms, 4.5 baths, 2-car garage. over in Midway Woods, around the mid-8. Houses in the neighborhood have just closed at like $1.1 million. So I'll be doing the agent pricing caravan the Tuesday after the Super Bowl. So you'll be getting flyers about that very soon.
Where's the Super Bowl this year? Yeah, it's in Atlanta, pretty cool. We will have a Super Bowl contest here, but it's a really good touch to have one with your database. Yeah, a lot of people like participating in that. Who else? Deborah.
I've got a client who is looking for a restaurant covering the one that's built out in the Lawrenceville area. About 1,000 square feet. Depending on where. Let me know.
Anyone else? Okay, again, Stacy, what you got? Training.
We're doing the GAR form changes right after this. I think we had 52 people register for that. Woohoo! And we do have lunch coming. And I think I saw Lynn in the back, Lynn LaCroix. Headshots with Elizabeth Sherwin. That's an opportunity tomorrow. And next week, Scott Hardy's going to do another Poster website training. It'll be on the calendar shortly. It's going to be a Thursday afternoon. So.
Okay. And we had a pretty big turnout. We're going to do an investment club every month. It's not this Friday, but next Friday. Right, 11 o'clock. So that's on the 25th. So for any of you that don't just want to be a real estate agent, you want to own a real estate business, you want to go big, make excess money, more than you need to live, have money to invest in real estate, that's what this is about. We're trying to build wealth in real estate. So pretty good little group here. All right. So I agree with Bill. It feels there's more energy out there. But we do need to pay attention, watch closely. Stats will be important next Tuesday. So anyone else? Anything else? Okay, go get it. Now's the time. Oh yeah, have a good one.